Welcome to Snail Trail 4x4. Today we're doing a rig walk around. We're going to walk around with my buddy Russell, who's a good friend of mine. We've worked together for many years, and then he left to go do bigger and better things. But he still has his rig, and we still go out crawling time to time, so I thought I'd bring the rig in, and we could walk around it a little bit and show you the cool things that he's done to this rig.
Started off as a 85 4Runner. It was fairly stock, obviously at the very beginning, and when I got it though, there was a gentleman out of Santa Cruz that he built it up 90% of what you're seeing here and did a lot of great things to it.
So the rig started off as a 4Runner, and he had an internal cage, but then what happened?
He didn't know what he wanted to do. He just knew he wanted to tinker around with it, do some welding one night, and so he started building this outside of it. So you can see that, you know, the hood would normally be here. This is up above the hood.
Right.
And then as he progressed, like you said, he had the interior cage, so that's inside the cab.
Right.
And then he's got this outside of it. So then he starts cutting body panels off
Yeah.
in order to just open it up.
Right.
And make it just, you know, look a little cooler, remove some weight, have some fun with it, make it different and unique.
Right. No, definitely. And I think one of the interesting parts is back here behind you is how he has the body line pop out far all the way out to the rock sliders for the body protection. Any idea why he did that?
So he actually told me he did that. He didn't do it on purpose at first. Originally he did it because it was just outside the body. Then when he removed the doors and started trimming up some of these things here, he decided to leave this out here because he had a young son, who was about 10 years old at the time, and he wanted that extra protection, not only for him but for his son. So, you know, if this is out wider, your hands aren't falling out as far out of the rig, if you're getting on angles, if you're rolling, if you're sliding.
Rocks aren't coming as far in.
Correct.
Definitely. Let's start here let's start with the motor. What are we running? What's the power?
So this is the 22R motor. It's got a got propane conversion kit to run on propane. Really kind of cool. You know, it basically takes it to fuel injection, but with propane, so you can run it upside down if you want to. I can be, you know, on the roof and still driving technically.
Just spinning tires.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's got that on there. A couple other little things. It's got, you know, the headers on there. It's got a one-wire conversion for the alternator. Of course, my favorite part of it right here. That's the reservoir for the
overflow.
Yeah, overflow reservoir for the radiator.
Yeah. And then going down from the headers, what exhaust are we running?
So I actually went with a Supertramp exhaust on this. It's got some different plates in there. You can do some different adjustments with it to not only adjust the noise, but you can adjust whether it's for low end, high end. You know, obviously out on the trail, you're thinking more torque.
Right. You can kind of tune it for the smaller motors.
Correct.
So,
correct.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Cool. And so behind the engine, I don't think we talked about it. We have the W56 transmission.
Yep.
And how many
dual,
T cases? Two?
Dual transfer cases, yep.
Right.
Yep.
Both stock.
Both stock, yep.
Right.
As you were saying, it's got the stock Toyota axles in there, but or axle housing, but everything else has pretty much been redone. It's got long field chrome moly axles, the 30 spline, the 6-shooter knuckles, all trail gear studs on there. It's got I broke it one time and figured I didn't want to have to replace everything again.
You didn't want to be that guy.
I didn't want to be that guy getting pulled out.
Definitely. Do you have a locker in the front?
I do. It's got the ARB air locker in there.
Nice.
Yep.
And then we have drive flanges on the outside.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Always locked.
We also have hydraulic assist steering, hence the power steering box has been modified and tapped. And then going back onto the rear axle, what do we have back here?
So for the rear axle, again, stock axle housing, stock axle shafts. Everything is pretty basic back here. Got the Rancho shocks. Got some extended length leaf springs here. Makes it really soft. Rides really nice.
How about a locker in the rear?
I do have the locker. Got a Detroit locker in the rear.
Okay. Very nice. And then I see that you've got the extended breathers, so when you do all those Fordyce River crossings, we're not getting the water inside.
Absolutely, absolutely. Along with, here's where the propane tank sits. Got that one right there right now. Still trying to come up with some ideas of how to mount the second tank, whether rotate that, you know, thinking about ground clearance. Don't want to come off a rock and hit a propane tank, you know. It's bad enough to hit a gas tank.
Right.
But if you hit a propane tank that's under pressure,
Right.
it's a lot worse.
Definitely.
So I'm running the IROC Super Swamper 36 by 13.5 tires. They're a big balloon of a tire.
They're great though. They're soft.
They are. You know, I always run them somewhere around 8 pounds.
Yeah.
They do great.
Yeah, they're not a super sticky compound. I mean, they're great. They're a DOT approved tire, but when you're down at 8 pounds, they're just smooth. Yeah, the ride is great.
Very smooth. The only time they ever really slip is if they get wet on rocks. But I mean, what tire isn't going to slip on a wet granite rock?
Right.
Breaker 19 for radio check.
So inside the cab, it's very simple, very broken down. There's pretty much almost everything that looks like it's been eliminated. So what is actually still here?
Yeah, there's basically no bells and whistles on the inside. Got it down to just 3 gauges. You know, you got your tach, you got your oil pressure, and you've got your temperature gauge.
Right.
And that's really it.
It's about all you need.
That's it. Other than that, switch for the light bar. You know, one switch, one light, one light bar. That's it.
That's the only light you have.
That's it.
Okay.
That's the only thing. Nothing on the rear end at all. Nothing underneath. Got the red switch there. I don't know if you can see that, but that's for the propane. That turns the propane onto the engine, engages it so that, you know, it's not free flowing. If it's kind of a safety feature.
Right.
And then
Also a kill switch then too.
Correct. Very true.
And then, so what's in this box here? Is this your dash console holding section?
That is really just there to hold my CB. No, but seriously, there's a yellow top Optima battery in there.
Okay.
That's where the battery is. Wanted to keep it, you know, so nobody touches it or anything, so put it in a box since it's right there in the center.
Was it just out, sitting about when you got the rig?
Correct.
Just sitting
Correct.
right there,
It was
maybe
just
a little
sitting right
tray
there.
or something?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
No CB, nothing on it, just sitting there, battery, couple connectors.
Right. And then we got your stick shifter, and then we got the 2 levers for the dual T cases.
Correct.
Very nice.
Correct.
And then we have 2 bucket seats, and then you have 3-point, 4-point, 5-point harnesses?
5-point harnesses. It came, when I got it, it originally had the 2 front bucket seats, nothing in the rear. It was really just a 2-seater at that point.
And then you added the radio.
I added the radio to it. Figured, who doesn't want to have some tunes out on the trail?
Right. Where are your speakers?
Speakers I've got up on the rear.
Okay.
Since everything is tube on this, I decided to go with wakeboard speakers because they've got the mounts for the tubes.
Yeah.
Makes it simple. Also, since there's no protection, if I ever get caught in a rainstorm, anything like that, they're waterproof.
They're waterproof.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah. There really is no firewall, you know, or it's cut down to just the bare basics of what you need, this section of the firewall.
Yeah.
It's great, though, out on the trail. You can see straight down to your knuckles. You can see everything underneath there.
Yeah, this whole section's cut out. It's crazy.
Yeah. You don't. Visibility is great in this rig.
So back on the rear, we have a few custom items in this area. What did we do here with the seats?
So a few custom items, like I was saying, when I first got it, it only had the front seat, so it was a 2-seater. Great for my daughter and I, but if friends want to come with us, if she wants to bring a friend, anything like that, it helps to have those extra seats. I had a buddy that you've seen on here before, Jason, that did these custom mounts for me here. Got these seats from another friend that Jimmy and I used to work with. Put these in here with some Simpson 4-point harnesses. I do have the 5th point if I ever want to use it, if I ever want to add it in there, but really the way this sits with this bar here to hold on to, you know, there's a bar down here to put your feet on.
Yeah.
You're in there pretty snug.
Nice.
So. The winch that's been added in there.
Yep.
We've got a 20-inch LED light bar. Of course, the winch, I went full synthetic rope on there just to make sure for safety reasons.
Right.
Got the toolbox in the back here. Just a little something I added because there really wasn't anywhere to put tools. You know, that way you can have some basic tools with you, and
Just in case of worries or problems, we can solve it.
absolutely. I even keep a little hatchet in there so when it gets cold at night, we want to chop up some wood.
Yeah.
We can have a fire
There we go.
on those safe fire days.
Yeah, whenever those happen.
Got the
For safety.
yeah, exactly. You always got to have your fire extinguisher there just in case.
For when we build the fires too large.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, let's see, also in the back here we have the compressor.
We have the compressor here with a small tank just to keep, you know, again, enough air to keep the locker locked. And then also, I think I mentioned this earlier, he's actually told me, the guy I bought it from, he said that it actually has enough pressure to pop a bead back on.
Oh, wow.
If you pop your bead on the trail.
So nice. Thanks for watching this episode of Snail Trail 4x4, where we did the rig walk around on Russell's 4Runner. Thanks so much for coming out, Russell. This has been a blast.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And, I feel honored to be the first one to be on here doing the walk around.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. I'm going to do a whole detailed write-up on his rig. It'll be on my website, Snail Trail 4x4. If you have any questions on Russell's rig, please hit the comment button and write them down there below. We'll both be watching the video, and we'll get back to you guys as soon as we can. If you want to see more videos like these, hammer down on that subscribe button, and don't forget, keep crawling.